Okay, today I'm going to share with you probably my favorite Google extension I have found that is going to be useful for you and your students. And it's called Kami. It's Kami. And once you download it and add it as a Google Chrome extension, it's going to show up as a K up here in the right-hand corner. So I'm going to show you some things that you can do with Kami. So I'm going to go to a cold read that I downloaded earlier. Now you can pull anything from your Google Drive that you already have. So I'm hoping that this extension will allow you to use some of the resources that you've already built up over the time and you probably would have used in your classroom if we would be on school campus. Okay, so the first thing are all these wonderful tools that we have access to. Kami has granted anyone with a Bossier Schools email or a Bossier student's email the rights to use all of these tools because normally you wouldn't have all these. So the first one that I'm going to share with you is text-to-speech. So if it's something you're worried the kids can't read,
plus times add more pages.
Let me stop it for just a second. If you click it, it's going to just start reading from the top and read all the way down. You also have different voices you can use, but to me the best one was the Google US English. Say there's only a part of the story that they'd like read out loud, or maybe even just one word.
Time for a walk, Ernest.
They can highlight it.
Ernest wags his tail and runs over to Liam. Liam clicks
press
Ernest.
Stop. So they could do this for any part of the paper. It will read out loud for them. Okay, so I'm also going to do another tutorial video that's just for the students. So it will kind of go over the tools for them. So it will be more directed towards the students in the way that I'm discussing the tools. So the next tool that I want to talk to you about is the highlighting tool. So say this was an older grade and you wanted them to make some annotations and explain. They could highlight a sentence and then hover over that sentence, and it's going to be a light blue. And they're going to have the option here to leave a comment. They could change the color if they wanted to, or say they didn't want to highlight that one anymore, they could trash it. So here they could write over here their notes on why they have that highlighted in the story. Okay, so then I'm going to scroll down to some of the questions on this cold read. And when your kids get this assignment in Google Classroom, it will automatically give them their own copy. So for example, this question is true and false. They may want to circle their answer. So if they go down here to shapes, they'll have a square, a circle, and a triangle. I'm going to just keep it on the circle. And they could circle their answer choice here. Or they can use the drawing, and they could draw it with their hand. I'm not as good with the mouse with that part, but they may want to use that because it may be easier for them. Maybe they want to change their answer or they accidentally made a mistake. They could go down here to eraser and then click on what they drew, double click on it, and it's going to erase it for them. Then this would work with something that they highlighted and they didn't want or even drew. They click on it and it will erase it for them. There's also some other tools here. So if you were math and you needed some other tools for math equations that you were drawing out, you could do that. You can edit any of these documents in here as well, but I really like this for maybe something that you already have ready to go. So another very cool feature with this is the ability to be able to type. So say, for instance, this says they need to put them in order. They'll click this little text box here. They can change the font size and the font color. But for this, I'm just going to click the T and then click onto the document. And I can type in my answer. Say if it was 3, then I could click somewhere else, and then I want it to be 2. But one of the best features on here that is a premium feature is if I click here and say I want to give them my answer, but I'm just not a very good typer, or it's just easier for me to say it orally, I can click and then click this little speaker up here. The dog ran away from his house, period. And now I have my answer. I could go back and change this to a capital T if I wanted. And now I can move my answer anywhere I want to, which I think is so great for even our regular ed students, but even our special ed students that have a lot of those accommodations and now can get them on their own. Again, I'm going to make an easier tutorial for your students and kind of go over the tools over here on the left-hand side. So in this document is the answer key. Well, we obviously don't want to share the answer key with the students. So then we are going to take this. I'm going to show you some of the great, easy to use tools that Kami already has built in. You're going to click over here, these 3 lines in the menu. And the first option you have right here is split and merge document. It's going to take my document and it's going to take it page by page, and I can take out which pages I do not want in my document. So the last page in this file is the answer key. I don't want this, so I'm going to take it and I'm just going to drag it out of there. These are the ones that I would like to keep. So I'm going to press export. I'm going to go ahead and open it in Kami. And now I have my document here and it's ready to put into a Google assignment if I wanted to. Now this is the one that I was drawing and writing all over, but the one that you would have wouldn't have any of that stuff on it. You would go back to your menu, these 3 little lines, and your 5th choice down here is going to say create assignment. It's going to push it straight to your Google Classroom. You'll pick which one you want it to go to. You could title it, give them directions. It automatically makes that copy for them. We don't want it to be for any points. And you could click classwork. And it has to have a title. So let's title it Cold Read. And then it's ready to go. You can push it to the classroom and it's in their classwork to turn in. I really think this is something that can be useful for all our students and all our teachers, but most importantly, it can be you can use it with resources that you probably already have saved in your Google Drive. So there it is. The kids would just click on it and it's going to prompt them to open it with Kami. I also have on the same materials upload a document you can share with your parents on how to add that Google extension. So you can feel free to push that and make a copy of that and share it with your parents as well. Also, when you go now to your classroom, once you have it downloaded, you could click plus, and it's going to have that option right there for a Kami assignment. So it is a very neat extension. I know I went through it pretty quickly and I didn't share everything you can do, but I felt like I'm just trying to share just the tools that I think would be the most useful for you right now. So I hope it's something that you find useful as well.